Ikut ni. Nampak slide?
Tak.
Nampak tu.
Nampak meh?
Kita tak dapat clear lah.
Nampak tu?
Kecil lah sebab.
Okay, kita start. So the main part of the AC motor actually there are two. So first one is the stator and the second one is the rotor lah. So basically first one for the stator. Stator actually the place for the coil actually placed, and it's a static it's a body lah, I can say, for the wire copper you put there. So basically stator generate rotating magnetic field when connected to three-phase AC power supply, and then it's induced current in the rotor causing it to rotate lah. So the one make rotor rotate actually from the stator that produce magnetic field, then effect to the rotor to rotate, and that one will create the mechanical energy. So the rotor is the inner rotating component mount on shaft. So turn wheel to interaction with the stator magnetic field, and then it produce mechanical output lah. So for the working principle, how is creating rotating magnetic field. So when AC power flow through the stator coils, each coil creates a magnetic field. Since the three phase are timed differently, that means the positions you can see before is different positions, right? For the first one, second one, and the third one. So basically it's 120 degrees. So the magnetic will combine. So the magnetic field will affect the rotor to rotate. So this create a single magnetic field that rotate around the stator at a constant speed. So the speeds are called synchronous speeds. Depends on number of pole lah. So down there you can see how to calculate the synchronous speed lah. So how the rotor spins, the rotor rotating magnetic field move the past the rotor bars or coil. This movement induce the electric current in the rotor. So the rotor current creates its own magnetic field. The stator magnetic field pulls and push rotor field and creates torque. So the rotor starts spinning in the same direction as the stator magnetic field. So then actually we got two type of AC induction motor. So basically a single phase induction motor and three phase induction motor lah. So for single phase mostly we can see for this one lah. For the fans, the small one, tu ada washing machine, that one we use a single phase induction motor lah. But the three phase induction motor mostly we use and for manufacturing, industrial, something like for pumps, compressor and conveyor lah. So right now in this workshop we have this one lah, three-phase induction motor. So this how we know the motor characteristic. And so actually on every motor they have the nameplates. On the nameplate have all the detail lah for the connections, the voltage needed, and all the important things lah. So basically mostly biasanya ada dalam untuk apa, frequency basic untuk ada kat situ, ada voltage, frequency, frame semua ada itu. So that how we know the motor needed lah. Get it? Boleh? So then this is the main connection lah untuk 3-phase punya motor motor. So the first one kita ada delta, and then kita ada star lah. So kalau delta mostly, kalau you know, kata kan basic delta semua kan. So delta ya, kita ada segitiga tu, how the connections actually straight, and then kita ada star configuration lah, kita just looping lah. This one is star lah. So then advantage of the AC motor actually, the simple and rugged construction, it's high efficiency, and then it's low maintenance, self-starting and cost effective lah. But it also have limitations. Actually, speed depends on supply frequency and poles, and then slip cause of small loss and efficiency. Starting torque may be lower than DC motor lah. So for application mostly dekat industrial, akan guna untuk pumps, compressor, conveyor, machine tools, atau maybe elevator and trains. For commercial pula, kita selalu guna dekat hatchback system, dekat escalator and refrigerator lah. Dan domestic biasanya akan ada dekat fan, washing machine and ada contoh. So, and then kita dah habis untuk the introduction of the motor lah, what actually motor is, and then kita start untuk this one, untuk starter pula. So untuk induction motor, okay, hang okay, I speak Malay, English. So basically, kalau motor mesti ada cara untuk kita start, untuk kita off, untuk kita on. So sekarang kita discuss on topic how the motor will start, how we stop, and how we acknowledge lah if there any faults for the motor. So actually for all motor we got a starter for them. So what is a motor starter? Actually motor starter is a electrical device or combination of device used to safely start, stop and protect an electric motor. It control the supply of the electrical motor to the power motor and protect it from damage and due to the optimal operating conditions lah. And then for the main purpose for the motor starter actually to start the motor safely, stop the motor safely, protect the motor from damage and control the motor operation lah. And why motor starter are needed actually is for motor draw very high when high starting current, and then actually no protection against the overload or faults, and it's unsafe for operator lah when we don't have any starter lah. So and then it's don't have any automation or remote control on the motor actually. Okay, next for the starter actually we got five starter. First one will be direct online starter, star delta, and then auto transformer starter, ada soft starter and variable frequency drive lah. So actually untuk starter there are several main component on the starter. So the main first one is contactor. So contactor is used to connect or disconnect the motor from the power supply. Contactor allow the remote or automatic control and include auxiliary contact for interlocking, holding or signaling purpose. And then the second one we got overload relief. It's protect the motor from excessive current and overheating. And then it monitor the motor currents and fix the control circuit if the current exceed the rated value for a preset time for preventing damage to the motor winding and ensure the safe operation lah. So easy to say, actually contactor ni kita nak auto kan dia punya on dengan off lah. Dia ada sistem yang boleh yang kita kasi tadi untuk kita auto off dengan on tanpa kita tutup supply. So kalau overload relay ni lebih kepada kita nak safety dia lah. So macam kita ada terlebih current apa kan, so dia akan cut off lah kat situ dia cut off semua supply, so motor selamat tak terbakar ke apa kan. Okay, then and then kita ada MCB lah. So MCB basic macam biasa is to on off the power supply lah from the main supply, and then kita ada start and stop button lah. That one for the accessory for the starter lah, yang kita boleh control lah the start and the stop. Lepas tu kita ada timer actually for the control. Sekarang dia provide please untuk set timer to delay the control circuit lah. Macam the star delta starter, the starter control the transition from star delta by de-energize the starter contactor and energizing the delta contactor after the motor as accelerate the suitable speed lah. Okay, yang ni memang tak faham sikit, jadi kita akan tunjuk lah dekat motor tu macam mana all the accessory actually work lah. So basically, and then kita ada relay pun sama untuk kita change over the contacts. And then kita ada transformer actually kita guna dekat bahagian auto transformer. This one actually the auto transformer. Yang ni kita panggil single tap auto transformer, I think nama dia. So yang ni kita akan study. Okay, so dah habis untuk main component. So kita start the first starter lah. So basically direct online starter lah, the first one. So direct online starter is a simple electrical device for starting 3-phase induction motor. It connect the motor directly to the full line voltage without voltage reduction and intermediate steps lah. Primarily used for the small to medium size motor, typically up to 7.5 kW or 10 horsepower. So suitable where high starting current is not a significant issue for the power system lah. So basically direct online ni dia simple punya starter. Kita tak perlukan banyak sangat aksesori sebab dekat bahagian direct online starter ni memang betul-betul untuk switch saja, untuk kita on dengan off. So dekat bahagian tu selain itu kita ada untuk fault lah, untuk kalau ada isu apa, ada high current, dia akan ada speed protection kat situ. Okay, so kita study dulu macam mana benda tu proses lah. So waktu idle state, that means kita tak buat apa, just on the supply. So basically the power supply is available, the motor power is not running, the contactor opens, contactor coil is not energized, and then the voltage reaches the motor terminal, the motor remains stationary lah. And then the starting, when we start the motor or we press the start buttons, the control circuit actually is complete, the contactor coil becomes energized, and then the contactor pulls in main power contact close. Motor is connected directly L1, L2 and L3 lah. So it means full line voltage. So what happens to the motor? Motor draw a high starting current, and then the starting torque is high. The motor begins the accelerate from 0 speeds. Okay, Kita tengok dekat satu lah senang. Sekejap. Kita bawa tengah dia. Ni ni.
Saya kabel tak? Mana letak? Oh, letak depan. Ini depan.